Ready? Good help. On behalf of the Rainbow Lakes Estates Advisory Board, welcome to the April 17th, 2025 Advisory Board meeting. As a courtesy to others, please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. If you need to take a call, please step outside. Talking or outbursts from the audience during the meeting will not be permitted. Please take seats if they are available. Scheduled requests will be allotted 5 minutes. If you signed up at the door to speak, you will be granted 2 minutes. If you have a non-agenda item to discuss, you may do so during the public comment portion toward the ends of the meeting. No additional time will be allotted. When you stand up to speak, please clearly state your name and address for the record. You must provide any documentation to the staff assistant. Also, any statements you make and information you provide will become part of the official public record. This board has not allowed in the past, nor will it allow in the future, personal attacks or insults against Rainbow Lakes Estates or Marion County Municipal Services staff, advisory committee members, or community volunteers. Please keep your comments to no more than your allotted time and focus on specific input. If you wish to specifically call and speak with an individual in the audience during the meeting, please address the chair first. You do not need to address the chair to speak to other board members or to anyone from the public who is addressing the board during the agenda or public comment portion of the meeting. That was for board member and guests. Invocation. Holy One, known by many names and beyond all names, thank you for every seat that has been filled here today, for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room. We thank you. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, a vision, hints, and daily instructions. We have talents, abilities, and time to work. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning, every project, every season, every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. Your righteousness transcends all our efforts and understanding. Forgive us our pride, the pride that puffs us up and the pride that threatens to unqualify us. Strengthen our confidence in who you have made us to be. Set us free from comparison in order to work together efficiently. Bless this meeting today, all those present, all the residents, volunteers, and employees of Rainbow Lakes Estates, as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterward. Ready us to make every moment count. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tiffany, roll call, please.
Kathy Bryant. Here. John Connor. Here. Alan McKay.
Here.
Alan Silverman.
Here.
Dan Wilson.
Here. Okay. No announcements. Okay, public comment or agenda items. We have nobody signed up. Okay. Moving on, I need approval for the minutes for March 20th, 2025 board meeting. Any questions, concerns with these minutes? If not, a motion and second is needed to vote and approve.
I make a motion to approve.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay,
One moment. Thank you, Katie. Go ahead.
Advisory Committee reports. Vice Chairman, Public Safety Representative Alan George McKay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fire rescue incidents, there were a total of 13 fire incidents and 54 medical with the Station 14, which is RLE's station in-house, a total of 5 fire and 2 medical. With the recent drought, the fire danger is greatly elevated, and while RLE is not under a burn ban yet, I urge extreme caution when doing any burning outside. As dry as the duff is, only a spark's required to start what could be a very dangerous fire. Please be safe. Regarding the traffic signal installation, the following was received from Kevin Marquez, professional engineer at FDOT. We held our design meeting on site a couple of weeks back, and the geotechnical studies for the signal are soon to take place. Once the geotechnical studies are complete, The team will return to complete exploratory digs and find locations clear of underground conflicts. I expect that to happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. This would have been middle of last week. Our 60% plan should be submitted for review in late May. By that point, we should know how much conflict and additional challenges we are up against, hoping for little to none. I accessed the Marion County website to see if RLE activity had been updated and found out the last board minutes were for April of 2024. The board roster also dated to April 2024, so there's been considerable change since then. We cannot inform our residents, let alone fulfill the law, if these are not updated in a timely fashion. I emailed Chad to verify that the link I had been using was correct. He replied that Marion County was undergoing a complete rebranding and they would try to get our page updated prior to the rebranding. My thanks to Chad for his quick response, and I appreciate that, Chad. Thank you very much. Safety is my primary concern. The serious accident on Marine Boulevard is deeply troubling. Speed is a serious contributor to many accidents. Please follow speed limits. They are for your and your passenger safety. Please ignore phone messages and alerts until you are stopped and can give your complete attention to them. Nothing is so important that it cannot wait a couple of minutes to address, and there is nothing that's too important. On a happier note, I want to commend Tiffany Richardson and the entire RLE crew for the excellent glow hunt we had last Friday. We had a great attendance and all seemed to have a wonderful time. I saw a lot of happy faces and laughter, and that gratifies me tremendously. Kudos, Tiffany, Monty, and the rest of you wonderful volunteers. You all rock. Fire inspections for RLE went pretty well for the most part. There were a few items that needed attention, but something that I'll bring it up here, but we'll probably have to discuss it later. The hood over the oven needs to be cleaned. Apparently, it hasn't been done since it was installed. So it needs to be cleaned, and we probably have to have a professional to do that because it's quite an involved process, I guess, to do it right. And the exit and safety signs. If you notice, see the sign up here over the door. Any of these things that have the big boxes on them date back to the original installation. They've got lead acid batteries in them. All it is just a glorified motorcycle battery. They are no longer functioning like they should. They use a lot of electricity for what they provide, and we should just replace them. And for between $10 and $15 a piece, they can be replaced. So Monty can do it and get it done. So that's something that should be taken care of. We had a couple of them that wouldn't work at all. So that's definitely not a good thing. And that pretty much sums up. Yeah, that sums up my report. Thank you.
Thank you, George. I also, I was out of town for the last 2.5 weeks, but I also heard that the glow hunt was a huge success.
Absolutely.
So it's good to hear that. All right, moving on, Buildings and Grounds Representative, John Connor.
I don't trust this thing. From what I can see, everything looks good. The buildings are all still here, so nobody took them. And that's about it. I don't have a whole lot to report since the fire inspections are done. You pretty well covered that, so we're good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Code Enforcement Representative, that position is vacant. Levy County Representative, Dan Wilshusen.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to update on. Code Enforcement, Levy County Code Enforcement has been out looking at a few lots. We've seen a lot of presence from them lately. In the past 4 weeks, I would say I've seen Dave out there 4 times, and I've seen his other colleagues out there a couple of other times. There are some lots that they're keeping an eye on. I did have an opportunity to talk to him about some of the illegal dumping that's going on out there. He told me that he has reports on 3 areas. They are working on that. They have notified the property owners of the issue and are waiting for their response. But the areas are Southeast 126th, Southeast 130th, and Southeast 133rd Road, or 33rd Ave, I should say. The road maintenance, that's an ongoing issue. We'll continue to monitor some of the roads that are back there. I am seeing that some of the new builds are starting to get tenants in them. So I just want us all to be ready, because we're probably going to start getting phone calls from people about when we intend to do something about improving their particular street or road. Like I said, for me, if it's got a single home on it, I'm trying to wait as long as we can before we dip into the budget to redo those. But I do have one of them that has a couple of homes on it now. And I've got 2 more that they're building, they're currently actively building. So I just want the office and the MSD department to understand that those calls will probably be coming in soon. I am monitoring them. If they come up, I will let you know. As for public safety, we don't have any real issues out there. All signs and everything are in good working order and are visible, so I think we're good. And that's it.
Thank you. Recreation Representative Kathy Bryant.
The Fibercraft Society meets on the 2nd and 4th Saturdays from 12 to 3. We'll just talk about it. At the Creative Arts Center. They do knitting, crochet, and other fiber crafting activities. The Pins and Needles Stitchers Club.
Tiffany, the microphone gain is going to be turned down as well.
The Pins and Needles Stitchers Club at Marcy McKay meets on Mondays from 10 to 2.
We have somebody who's working off duty, illegal dumping, he comes out on his days off. I was just saying, we need to help you with that one.
Technical difficulties.
I thought you said southeast, and I was like, well.
Yeah, we need one of them signs.
Let's see, that's
Technical difficulties.
Southeast for
I'm gonna go buy us all bullhorns.
so it kind of really throws
They have minutes for
the
what's
difference
happening.
is that the whole Levy County side for 911 system.
I get yours in gray. What's your favorite?
The Marion County side are all names. That's
Find an article right now.
Those things can feed back.
Being here
right now. So John is saying, yes, the rest wants to pay it. Not, if there is, they're not reporting it. It's gonna
I think you're up and running.
Okay, starting again. The Pins and Needles Stitchers Club, Marcy McKay and the girls, are Mondays from 10 until 2 at the Creative Arts Building. They're really happy little group, and they do fantastic work. You're going to go and have a lot of fun and learn a lot. Poker Club still meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 3 at the Creative Arts Center. The women's gathers at the community complex parking lot on the 3rd Wednesdays of the month at 10 a.m. and they go to lunch. Domino Club still meets on Fridays at 7 p.m. here in the community center complex. Tater Tot Tuesday is from 10 until noon for all the little ones. It's free and it's open to the public. Pickleball is every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. in Seacliff Park. It's also free to the public. The youth center is at this time closed. Yeah, it will be. That would be Wednesdays and Fridays from 4 to 8 p.m. The kayaks are still available at the office. The rental is $25 for the first hour and $5 for each additional hours. And that's from 8 until 4, Mondays through Friday. The fitness center is extremely good. It's a really good perk out here. I have photographs of all the equipment if you want to see it. The building is clean, it's spacious. Registration appointments at the office are available on Wednesdays. Currently, the annual yearly fee is $25 or $50 for 2 years. It's for residents only. On the 3rd of the month is also a plant swap from 6 to 7. That's open to the public. Bring a plant and take a plant. It's a lot of fun. The Easter egg hunt, as they have said, was a tremendous success. Thank you to all the volunteers who stuffed eggs, hid eggs, led the game, and crafts, and of course, to our duck and our Easter rabbit. Volunteers are always needed and appreciated for recreational activities. That's better.
Thank you. And I'll go back on. Thank you, Kathy. All right. Acting Road Representative, Alan George McKay. I think you basically lumped that in with your other report. Moving on, Municipal Service Managers Reports. Katie Burton, Marion County Municipal Services Recreation Manager.
Add another M in there.
Good evening, Katie Burton, Community Manager. I do have a staff report. Before I get to that, I do want to let you know we have a part-time recreation leader starting on Monday. They will be out here part-time, and then we have an open position for the full-time recreation leader and an open position for the full-time supervisor in the community center. Both of those are online. So I do have your staff report, and this shows our attendance for the month of March, totaling in at 618. The Glow Hunt, which was amazing, and as many of you have commended it, had 210 participants just in that event, so that did kind of give us a good jump on our monthly attendance there. I did have the pleasure of working the plant swap this Tuesday. That was amazing. So it was super fun. We had a great crowd, and I went home with a lot of plants, so that was really cool. For our expense and revenue summary for the general government, we have expenses at $255,808.66, with revenues of $1,418,302.22, with a balance of $1,162,493.56. For recreation account, we have $67,843.04 in expenses. In revenues, we have $413,322.10, with a balance of $345,479.06. And for the road and street budget, we have expenses at $259,576.50, with revenues of $2,092,851.94, with a balance of $1,833,275.44. All of those numbers are there for you, so you don't have to scroll.
I was going to say, are they also, they'll be included?
Yes, they're on your staff report, yes.
Thank you.
As far as work orders, for the month of March, we completed 3 work orders. We have 2 remaining open. Year to date, we have 20 completed work orders with 9 remaining open. And those open ones are for waiting on supplies, waiting on the proper equipment to do the jobs, things like that. For rentals for the community center, we have 5 rentals and 3 pavilion rentals year to date. And that's all I have for now.
On the rent, I'm sorry, Chairman. On the rentals, can we also take a look, just out of curiosity, so that we can see how we're comparing to prior years, because we know that we've seen that come down.
Sure.
I'm just out of curiosity, you can send that email if you want.
Yeah, absolutely, I can do that.
Okay, thanks. I just want to see if we're coming back from it,
Absolutely.
especially after we did the work on the rental fees.
Yes, great
Okay,
point.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zach, I don't have you down here. Do you have a report you want to give?
I have a few things I can share with the board tonight. So the clubhouse remodel, in your little books you should find kind of a breakdown of what we're hoping to accomplish in the clubhouse. The project originally started out as the idea of a full remodel. Once the bids came back, we just quickly realized there was not enough money budgeted for it. It was around the $300,000 mark. So we have sat down with that contractor twice now to try and shave off and rescope the project and still try to accomplish the main points, right? So this is kind of a breakdown of where we're at after our second meeting with the contractor, financially, we removed a number of items from the original list. We're still over what our original budget was. So tonight we're kind of hoping to get a consensus to see if we still want to move forward with what the contractors kind of worked out financially. So the bathrooms are a must, so those are still included. That's the big ticket item. But that is a full remodel, ADA doors, all new tile, new dividers, new fixtures. We did remove the storage rooms on either side of the hallway there. They still will get new doors, be ADA compliant, but as far as what's behind the doors, we won't be touching. The kitchen, again, we have taken everything that was on the list off except for that doorway that enters the hallway, making it ADA compliant. We also got the multi-purpose room, so that is the large room. That was kind of the point of getting in there, right, making this where it's usable again. So that is still a part of the deal. And then the interior wall prep basics. So it still comes in at $213,000. Kind of hoping to get y'all's input on if we're okay with that. If we want to move forward, we've cut out about as much as we possibly can as far as cost wise. So this is, I'm going to put it in your hands and see how y'all feel about it.
Well, I appreciate your efforts. It's been a hard slog to get this as far as it is. The sad part is most of the residents of RLE have not even been in that building. And of late, couldn't even go in there because of the collapsed roof. So we have to take care of it, and short of tearing it down, if we don't take care of it, it's going to fall down on its own. So I say we need to continue with what we're doing.
My only concern, Chad, is what does that do to our budget for the capital improvements? I mean, I know that we probably have the 213 there, but I also understand that, you know, there's a certain percentage that we're allotted. What does that do to our percentage for this year? Does that completely wipe us out?
No, sir, I don't. I think we'll be okay. I mean, overall, we have the 700,000 that we're working towards for capital improvements.
Okay.
I think we're gonna be okay there. What he's talking about, we are going through and remodeling what we need to make it
Absolutely.
a money maker again. And then we
Correct.
can look at some of the other areas in the future when we start receiving some income again.
I completely got ready to see what Zach was presenting, and I thank him very much for the in and out and working the numbers and trying to figure out what best works for the facility. So I do appreciate that. It's, you know, me and my number head, you know, I'm like,
No, and I appreciate that, and we'll talk about it when we talk about the 5-year plan, but we're having
Okay.
a CM come in and look at the other buildings, and they're gonna give us an idea of what we should do to at least freshen up those buildings. It may not be a complete remodel, but there may be enough there to make it look fresh.
a little bit of
Inviting
lipstick.
again.
Yeah, exactly, painting and so
I ain't
on.
saying that, but yeah, pretty much put a little bit of lipstick on it to make it look.
Well, they need to be
modern.
updated. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So, and that's what I was concerned about. I mean, we do need to do this, but it can't completely
Yeah.
take every dime we have for improvements this year.
Yes, sir. And a year ago, I would have said, let's remodel all the buildings until we got the quote for this one, and it's a little bit of a sticker shock. It's like,
Wasn't it?
yeah, oh, yeah.
Trust me, I'm sitting here going, oh, wow.
Even the engineer that we used to give us an estimate was a little bit under sticker shock with that, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something we will evaluate. We'll definitely keep our eyes on the balance as we're moving forward to make sure that.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get to the end of the budget year and go into next year going, well, we don't really have any capital money to move forward with.
Yes, sir.
That will not go over well with me or the rest of this board.
You'll be okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Two more things I was going to give you an update on. So the landscaping contract for the entryway and the flowers, annuals and whatnot, that is currently out to bid. So we should see that return early May and have an idea of what we're looking at cost-wise there. And the other one is our road project for this year, that we'll be putting that out to bid by the second week of May. that'll be out for 50 or 60 days before we get a return on that.
Okay. And have we reached out to Levy for any assistance on that, or are we just taking all of that ourselves?
As far as I know, we have not reached out or had any conversations with Levy on that.
Okay. Well, because I know that a lot of the improvement money this year for roads is for the Levy County section. And we had the discussion about those feeder roads and, you know, maybe doing some sort of, you know, contact with them. Because I know that they just finished they're in the process of doing their budget as well, so.
I saw it for road projects are you talking the road improvements at the entrance?
No, I'm talking about the road projects that are budgeted for this year, the repaves and so on.
Yeah, as far as I know, Levy County, if they're not in the assessment area, they have to, they can't really assess them.
No, I understand that. It's just that at least 2 of the roads back there that are on the list are feeder roads that feed into the unincorporated section of Levy County. That's where the bulk of the traffic comes from, not our residents.
Gotcha. We don't really have a mechanism to collect from.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, that answered the question. Thank you.
That is that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm going to instruct the board members that when an item is on for the agenda, to please hold your comments until that time because it convolutes the minutes. Sorry, I know. You get over anxious. Okay.
It's all right.
Moving on. Special committee guests are Chad Wicker, Marion County Municipal Services Director, Dana Oleski, Marion County Chief Assistant County Attorney, Lieutenant Julie Bullwinkle, Marion County Sheriff's Office. And we'll start with Lieutenant Bullwinkle.
Hi. Am I on here? I don't want it to squeal.
It shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't squeal.
Okay. So I missed the last meeting, because I was at a,
You were in Denellen on the last meeting, I'm sure.
I'm sure you guys know what's going on down there, so, I think everything's complete with that. They've signed the contract. We've taken over law enforcement services for the city of Denellen. We started April 5th, but per the contract, it doesn't start till May 13th.
Cool.
And then Ron Bray will be the chief, although there's not a police department. But per their charter, they have to have that. The last thing that I had an email in reference to the party at Little Lake Bonneville, that they had a party out there again the weekend of April 7th. But, you know, of course, we get notified after the fact, and then we do security checks, and of course, then they're not there. I know that we had talked about maybe putting cameras up. Do you know if that happened?
I don't.
Because I sent an email, but I didn't get a response. But I know now why I didn't get a response.
I don't believe we put any cameras
No,
up there.
Okay.
no cameras, there's no internet access.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
Chad,
I
are
know
you
that was
aware?
talked about.
Over by Whitney Hills Park, which is Little Lake Bonneville, the Creative Arts Center. Apparently, it's getting more and more frequent that there's parties and beer cases and bottles and tire marks being run over there quite often.
The other thing was loud music coming from, like, it just said a house in that same area with a for sale sign, but we haven't received any calls in reference to that, so, you know, we can't really do anything unless we get a call for service for that. We can do the security checks for the park, you know, pending our calls for service as well, so I've asked the deputies to step up the security in the area, you know, but I think the guy's name is Michael Kish, is who complains. I don't know if anybody's familiar, but if you could tell him to maybe call what's going on, and we can, and maybe he doesn't know, maybe he just sees it after the fact.
Right.
As far as any trending crime, there's no trending crime out here. I checked all the calls for service and the reports that have been made. It's all, you know, domestics, fake racks. have any questions?
Yeah, Lieutenant, I want to thank you again. I really appreciate the increased patrols and having seen probably at least four stops
Yeah.
in process. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And anything we can do to get people to slow down in this place would be
Yeah,
great.
they're trying to keep it up. We can also put the, right now our speed trailer, is being well, it's not even being serviced yet. It's supposed to be serviced next week, but it has an issue right now.
Mhm.
But we do have a speed trailer that we can sit out here. If you think that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
As far as slowing people down, I mean.
The speed is a problem, but we had, when I used to live in Michigan, we had a thing called Michigan rollers, where you just roll through the stop sign, you just don't even slow down, just boom, off you go.
And that happens here too.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's,
Especially on the back roads.
yeah,
you
well,
know,
don't
it
expect
does
traffic.
happen.
I appreciate that extra patrols. It's
They're
fantastic.
trying.
I understood that there was a police presence at least 2 days for sanctuary on the Max on Seacliff Avenue. Are you aware of what occurred
Was
there?
it-
Just to clarify, we read all this crap on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not aware unless it was it a while back? I know somebody called
I was
like
away
a-
for 16 days and it happened sometime in this 16-day period.
I know that there was a call of some people maybe squatting in the park. They had like their clothes hanging up and that's the only one that I'm aware of. And they trespassed them from the park because we've gotten the trespass authorizations. And it was some homeless veteran guys that had kind of just decided that they had nowhere to go, so they were kind of living in the car there. That's the last thing that I knew that happened there, and that's probably been after the last meeting, but before this
Yeah,
meeting.
this would have been within the last 2 weeks. I
Oh, then I don't. Then
just
I-
happened to see it on Facebook.
Okay.
Dana, would you happen to know? I know your office kind of dealt with all this.
So to answer the question, I do know, but because there is an active investigation, I can't really share too much information. But
Okay.
yes, there was a police presence in the last week.
Okay.
She knows.
As you realize, imaginations run wild on social media.
So we're addressing an ongoing issue, and to answer the question, it wasn't anything from a public safety standpoint. It was just an ongoing issue that I believe everyone knows that we're having with that particular resident.
That basically was the question. Thank you. All right, thank you, Lieutenant.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
Okay. Mr. Wicker, you have anything to add?
No, sir, not at this time, just I have updates that are already under old business, so I can wait till then.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Well, old business, clubhouse renovations and relief center designation. I think we talked about that already.
Yeah.
So anybody else? Nothing? All right, 6B, RLE 5-year plan workshop, an update on a 5-year plan to our district.
I do have this update, so I'll be going through this presentation with you all. So that's going to be this paper here, and it has a few attachments behind it, so I'll walk us through it.
It looks very nice.
I know it's been long awaited, and I'm excited to go through it with you. I do want you to keep in mind this is a living, working document. We still don't have numbers on these buildings to fill in, so what this is kind of our guideline. So as we're making budget decisions, as we're working on projects and directing staff to make decisions, this is kind of what's going to be steering us throughout this decision. So it will be changing, we'll be representing it as we have more information inside of it. So let's get started. This is our 5-year plan and strategic priorities. I did start by putting the organizational chart for municipal services on this first page, just so everyone has an understanding of which staff serve Rainbow Lakes and our department as a whole. So in orange, you will see the positions that do serve Rainbow Lakes Estates. Beneath that, I do have the county's mission statement, guiding principles, and core values, just to remind us that that is what all employees are expected to live by. The next page, we have the funding summary. This is what was presented at that workshop back in October. So the Rainbow Lakes Estates Municipal Service District was created by Special Legislative Act in 1969. Boundaries of the MSD include primarily Marion County and portions within Levy County. There are 3 assessments established within the MSD to provide various services. 2 are MSD-wide, funded by both Marion and Levy, and recreation only applies to the Marion County portion. So as we presented at that workshop, there was a fund balance of $700,000 for potential projects and improvements in that municipal service district fund, a fund balance of $150,000 in the recreation fund, and a recurring revenue of $350,000 for road improvements in that road improvement fund. Working with these numbers at that workshop is where we have these planning sheets. I attached bigger versions of them. There's small snippets on this page. So this is where we set up our goals. Following the 2024-2025 budget hearings, Rainbow Lakes Estates Advisory Board requested to collaborate with Municipal Service on the 5-year strategic plan to outline upcoming projects and priorities. On October 17, 2024, Municipal Services presented current and projected fund balances for general road improvement and recreation budgets. Municipal Services presented several ideas to the advisory board, followed by discussion and public input. From this conversation, we identified the most popular wish list items for future budget goals. The overall objectives of the Rainbow Lakes Estates Municipal Service District include enhancing existing recreational services and upgrading facilities to improve activity levels, safety, appeal, and rental usage. Looking forward, we aim to explore integration of Levy County into our recreation assessment and maintain a strong emphasis on improving the overall quality of life throughout Rainbow Lakes community. So listed here we have our goals, and I did break them up by fund. So the goals for the MSD fund, based on those workshop planning sheets, were renovation of the Creative Arts Center, renovation of the Community Center, and renovation of the Youth Center, Clubhouse, and potential addition of a park or playground in Levy County. You will see updated occupancy. We did get those updated occupancy fire numbers. I put them there. So the Creative Arts Center is updated to 95, Community Center updated to 203, Clubhouse total is main room only is 106. We don't have the total because they couldn't go all the way through the building. They were working off of pictures. So that is also an attachment in the back. You will see attachment number 3 as the fire reports. Goals for the recreation fund include increasing recreational activities during evenings and weekends, redesigning the shuffleboard court and the horseshoe pit, and including converting half of the shuffleboard into a concrete cornhole area, and exploring expansion of recreation into Levy County. Goals for the road improvement fund are following the prescribed annual road plan and reviewing any concerned areas and assessing pavement conditions for future projects. I did also attach that annual plan in the back, so you'll see year by year we'll go through it, which roads are going to be touched, and I also included a total at the bottom of how many miles are in both Marion and Levy County on each year's project. Other items that were items for consideration beyond these when we look at our budget is fencing behind the basketball court, a bike trail, nature trail, a beach volleyball court, dog park, community vegetable garden, and that Levy County recreation assessment again. So from here, where do we go? Now that we have our goals, our next steps are to obtain, the assessments of each building and those updated occupancy limits as attached, and we are awaiting further review of contractors for possible renovation options. Based on these assessments, Municipal Service will develop more accurate estimates and plans for consideration. Staff is also preparing quotes and replacements for shuffleboard and horseshoe pits, updating the rental schedule, and facility rental marketing and promotions, typo there, I'm sorry, and staffing our recreation positions to continue and expand the recreation services and amenities. And then you have the first attachment of our wish list items from that big sheet project that we did. Attachment 2 is our year-by-year roads. So year 1, we are looking at total mileage of 1.4 in Marion County and 1.4 miles of road project in Levy County. Year 2 is 2.55 miles of road project in Marion and 1.1 in Levy. Year 3 is 2.85 all in Marion County because it does include a lot of Seacliff Avenue. And then we have total mileage for year 4, 1.4 in Marion, 1.5 in Levy. And year 5, total mileage Marion, 2.6 miles. That is the prescribed annual plan. Any other concerns are being reviewed as we go through. Attachment 3 is just those updated capacity reports for those 3 buildings that we did get them back on.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Yes, you did a good job.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry that it's not a full report, but this is all the information we have at this time. I think it's a good stepping stone to get where we want to be.
Well, it's the first thing we've had, so it's great.
We do welcome any feedback. If there are no questions or feedback at this point, the last thing in this packet is that postcard. This would be the new resident postcard when we do our updated marketing. It's printed on paper, so it looks a little funny, but this is where the address would go. That's why the second half of it is blank on that second page.
Very impressive.
I like that.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Thank you.
Put a lot of work into this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie.
Okay, I think, moving on.
Wait, sorry.
Oh,
Can I speak?
yes, thank
Could we also could we also add a snippet about the communicator on this?
On the postcard?
Yeah.
There is,
Did I miss it?
right on the bottom, it says, scan here to request our quarterly newsletter, available via email
I
or
got
mail.
it. I got it. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Oh,
Great idea, Dan.
quarterly newsletter. Oh,
Oops. Yeah, oops.
we done, Dan?
Yes, I'm done taking.
Okay, 6C, boat ramp fees and penalty ordinance. We are waiting information and direction from the Marion County Legal Department on how to amend the current code ordinance with common sense fees that would not be excessive and yet at the same time offset the cost of repairs associated with the boat launch, as well as reasonable penalties for those that violate the ordinance.
Dana Lesky, Chief Assistant County Attorney. So I think at this point, if that is the desire of the Rainbow Lakes Estates Advisory Committee to push that through to the Board of County Commissioners, then we probably need to move forward with having that discussion with the board. Typically, our office cannot start drafting an ordinance until we're given direction by the Board of County Commissioners, so we can bring that as an item for discussion to the board. And then if there's any legal issues or legal challenges with it, we'll address those with the BCC at that time to let them know what their legal authority would be to do that. I know that Katie had met with me, we went over a few things, and the delay is not her, it's me, on being able to answer some of the questions. As you know, this is a very unique situation here.
Right.
So there's a few things that typically, even in talking with Mr. Wicker, that this board and this district can do that ordinarily we would not be able to do. So I am researching that, but I think at this point, if that is a desire of this board, we probably just need to put it on the Board of County Commissioners agenda for discussion with them.
All right. Any opinions, thoughts?
Well, we need to get the revenue in there because the entrance to the boat ramp, it's pretty bad. It's getting washed out terribly. There's holes, and I drove through there today, and holy cow. I'd take my car's, endangering my car to drive in it. It's not good.
And just for clarification, the desire was to match what we're using as the boat ramp fees throughout the rest of Marion County.
Correct.
To be comparable to that.
Right.
Correct. That is correct.
And
Yes.
as far as fixing the road or the driveway coming into it, I mean, that's just a matter of probably putting in some fill. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but boy, it would make it a lot more user accessible, a lot more friendly.
I know we installed the fence with the idea of putting a gate to lock people out that do not pay the fees, because that's a big issue that we have here. You know, so we'll leave this on here for you all to discuss next month.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Nathan. Okay, moving on.
Well, and just one more on the deliverables. So at this point, should we talk with Chad about what our next steps are to get this before the VOCC?
So we would have to present something to the county administrator,
Okay.
who I will share with you is, I believe, out of country until May 6th. So we probably wouldn't be able to get a meeting with him until May 6th or the week after. And then with agenda deadlines, you're probably looking at maybe a discussion with the board sometime in the early part of June, if we don't get directed to get more information or come back with something different.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, realistically, in my head, I was thinking probably July before we got to that point.
Right, so I think it's Chad and, his assistant county administrator in legal meeting with the county administrator to talk about the logistics of that and then placing it on the agenda for discussion with the.
Correct, right, okay.
And then, at that point, they can give us the direction to go ahead and bring back an ordinance, to discuss that if that's what their desire is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on. 6D, Levy County Recreation Fees, an update and progress report from Marion County Municipal Services Director Chad Wicker and Dan Susan, our Levy County representative, with moving forward on assessing Levy County RLE residents to recreation fees that are currently only paid by Marion County residents.
So we are still in the process of getting that. It's the same process I've got to go through for the boat ramp. I got to get a meeting in with
Administrator
my assistant
first.
county administrator, the county administrator, legal, and so they're working on that right now. It has been a little rough to get on the schedule because it's budget time, where we're prepping for all the budgets, and some annual leave has made it a little bit. It's been fun trying to get everybody's schedule to match, and so that meeting should be happening here soon. I didn't get an update before I came out here on that. I apologize, but I can get one to you.
Yeah, well, that's why I figured when we were discussing the budgetary issues on that, it wouldn't be for this upcoming one, it would be the
Correct.
following year.
Oh, for sure.
But I do want to see us move forward on that.
Absolutely.
Anything else, Dan?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Dan. New business, preliminary budget review and approval, review changes made to the budget as discussed at the budget workshop. Then afterwards, I'll need a motion and a second and approval for a vote.
Wait, you missed one, I'm sorry, Chairman. 6E,
What's that?
6E. The youth center fees and the change of the age, we were waiting to hear back on that.
On what item?
6E.
6C.
No, E, as in Edward.
The youth center fees? are you talking
Yes.
about? I thought there was an issue, but clearly here, in the minutes, it states we raised the fees.
We did raise the fees, but the question was about the age. Remember, whether or not a parent needed to be with the child at age 12 or age 10.
Right.
That we needed to find clarification from the county.
So from legal's perspective,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
would not recommend going below the age of 12 because that is what is consistently across the rest of our parks and libraries and community centers.
Dana, thank you very much. That is exactly what we're needing. Thank you. Asked and answered now, sir.
Thank you. I didn't have that on my report. No.
Thank you, Dana.
What's that?
Thank you, council.
Okay. So then the vote stands for what we voted for?
Correct. That is correct, Chair.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right, thank you, Dan, for pointing that out. Okay, now we go on to the budget review and approval.
Yes, sir. So March the 11th at 10 a.m. we had the RLE budget workshop where we went over the proposed budget. The budget has remained the same and is ready for you to approve, except for I did, as mentioned in that workshop, had to balance the recreation budget. It was, when we entered in our wish list and the things that we wanted for the rec budget, the revenues had not been loaded yet, and I knew that. Once the preliminary revenues were loaded, we were about 30,000 in the hole. That's going to be rectified. That's going to be fixed, obviously, when we look at adding in Levy County to that recreation budget. But there were also some things that when we were reviewing it, that we realized may not be a good fit for that budget because there are buildings, there are maintenance and repairs to buildings that are actually paid for by Marion County and Levy County. So they would have been better fit coming out of the MSD portion of the budget.
Thank you. That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Since the buildings are community used, then they should come from the community funds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I can go through and tell you some of the changes I made or I'll tell you all the changes I made in the rec budget just for the record. In 534101, which is our contract services miscellaneous water samples, I relocated that amount, which was $600, to general government budget. And communication services, fitness center internet, I removed the $3,000. I deferred it until the high-speed internet availability is confirmed. I haven't heard any updates on that, and we really have no idea when it's going to be there. So I removed the $3,000 to upgrade the internet to the faster internet speed until we know exactly when that's going to be out there. Communication services, internet and landline for MSD buildings, I reallocated that to general government, which was $3,600. The electric, water, and sewer for all of the buildings that were in the rec budget, I reallocated the $20,500 to general government budget. All utilities for MSD complex, we basically moved to the MSD budget. Same thing for security lights with MSD buildings. I reallocated that to the general government budget, which was $4,000. I removed $2,000 out of repairs and maintenance, building and grounds, because it was for unanticipated repairs. And so it wasn't needed in that budget. If we need to make a repair to a building or grounds, we can pull that out of the MSD. We have some funding in there for that.
I was going to say it should come from the contingency, I would assume.
Yeah, we can always pull from that, yes, sir. Repairs and maintenance, MSD buildings, reallocated $3,200 to general government budget. Clothing and wearing apparel, uniforms, polos, t-shirts, there was $800 in the budget for that. There is some money that's already in general government for uniforms. That should be plenty enough for employees, and we were thinking for the volunteers, we do have shirts that are already here on site. If we still want to go the shirt route, we can pull it out of the MSD budget. We had also talked about doing bright colored vests, so that way they're reusable and we don't have to keep giving people shirts.
That's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, so it's bright colored, you're in the parking lot, you can see you, it'll clearly state on the back volunteer. And then something that they can turn into the end of the shift, and we can continue to reuse those items instead of giving out a volunteer shirt. Most of the time we have to wear a vest anyways when we're out there, and it just covers up the shirt anyway. So I removed $800 from that line item. Operating supplies, cleaning and paper products. After we did a reevaluation of the supply usage and needs, I reduced that by $1,000. Fire extinguisher replacement, we had in there for $800. I went ahead and reallocated that to the general government budget because it belongs with the building. And operating supplies for fitness center machinery upgrades, I did defer that to next fiscal year, $6,500. And till we can, I did defer that because I prioritized the need until we can take a further look at the recreation budget.
I agree with most of that, but I think we do have a machine over there that needs service.
Okay, we do have money in the account to service it, yeah. And that's,
Okay.
that's in the MSD side, and we'll still get it serviced.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you.
Yeah, and then the last thing that I did do was operating supplies for youth center expenses. I reduced it by $3,000. After we did a further analysis of the budget. So the total budget reduction from recreation budget was $47,050.
Not bad, so gave us a little bit of a cushion.
Yes, sir.
A very small one, but at
Yes.
least a cushion, thank you.
But a cushion in case something comes up.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, sir. So if the board, obviously I'm open for any questions or concerns that the board may have, and that's all I have as far as presenting changes to the budget. All the other line items have remained the same.
Any questions? I'm shocked.
Yeah. Give them a chance.
Okay.
I mean, I could continue to beat this dead horse if you want me to, Chair, but, you know, I'm good.
All right, then I'm going to need a motion and a second to approve this budget.
Make the motion.
Matthew made the motion.
I will second that motion,
Dan
actually.
has seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously to approve the budget.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay. Okay. Well, moving on to general public comment. Do you have anybody? Nope. That was quick. Anybody have anything they want to say? Oh. Good evening, Mr. Levitt.
George, thank you for bringing that up. I'm just wondering, I mean, it's in such terrible condition, you know, getting into the ramp. Are we liable if somebody breaks a tire or, because it's nasty.
Yeah, it is bad. It is bad. There's a big drop off. There's some big holes there.
Yeah.
You gotta dodge them is what you gotta do.
If you try to. And Kathy, how much was it for the rentals of the canoes or kayaks?
25 an hour, and then $5 for the extras.
25, okay. How does that range?
It, what do you mean?
If you want to
Oh,
rent,
it
when
was
you see
at the office.
who takes out the
I see
kayak?
Tiffany at the office
Okay.
from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday.
One thing I'd like to see, I mean, we've got a beautiful facility here, and I don't know if there's a way that we can promote outside of RLE as far as getting more weddings.
We need to do more advertising.
Yeah. 'Cause I have a lot of people that say, you know, let's have a sock hop or something once a month, have a DJ, maybe sell some concessions. These are just about other people tell me, and I agree with them.
It's a good thought.
And I understand there was a gentleman that wanted to put on plates for Pam to put the nets to. Anyway, I'd just like to see more money put into our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Zach, just a quick question. What's the status on the dump trailer?
So it has been delivered to Fleet. They have ordered the tag. I heard last email yesterday the tag has been delivered to Fleet. So I would assume early next week we can go pick it up, and we are into the movement of material business.
Excellent.
Yes.
Is that a possibility we can get a load of fill and put into that boat ramp?
It's definitely possible. I'd have to work out as far as the financial side of it, because there's two different accounts on how, that, I don't see why we could not,
Yeah.
money around to make that happen.
Chairman,
Yes.
we can definitely look into that. I also want to remind the board that you did approve $10,000 for next year's budget for asphalt for approach repairs, repairing both the fitness center and the boat ramp. So that is in next year's budget to
Is it
have it
budget?
completely
Okay.
repaired. Yes, sir. But we can definitely look into something for patching it.
Just temporary,
Yes,
just
sir.
get the holes filled in.
Yes.
That's my, I just don't want to see anybody mess up a tire or something like
Yeah,
that.
our general services crew is definitely has the ability to do that. We just have to work out the financial side of making it happen.
Thank you.
Whoever was over there last time, was going
When you speak out of turn, you mess up the minutes, Mr. Levitt.
Am I go now?
Sir, your name and address,
My name is
please.
Tim Kelly. I live at 3333 Southwest Soundview Drive.
Hi, Tim.
And I would like to thank the new crew that we have out there working on the roads. They're making a damn good job filling in these holes and stuff. And there's some holes out there on the Rainbow Lakes Boulevard that if you rode off the road, you'd break a rim. And so, and you guys are doing a real good job. I don't know. You see the work going on. I just wish that you guys would consider buying the equipment to clean the sides of the road like, you know, the tractor with something that can go alongside there, you know, cut, because if you had something like that, then you have the grinder come behind it, it's a two-man operation. But I just, you know, that's my suggestion.
Thank you, Mr.
That's a
Kelly.
lot to report too, thank you.
Thank you. And that falls under Zach's purview. Apparently you're Jack now.
So I've actually, it's a conversation I'm wanting to start, because we have another crew, Marion Oaks, that could really benefit from the same thing. What I can tell you is that piece of equipment is very expensive, and the training that goes along with it is pretty extensive. But it is a conversation that I'm fixing to start having, because it would benefit both your community and my Marion Oaks crew as well. So I'll keep you posted, but just keep in mind that it's a very expensive piece of equipment.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, anyone else? All right, that's it for the public portion section. All right, do any board members or guests have anything they would like to announce?
Yes, I do. My wife, Marcy, is, she's a firecracker, let me tell you. And she came up with this. These bags are given out by Citrus County. And all it is, my wife and I go to a craft sale every 2 weeks. And it's over in Citrus Springs. We go in there and they handed these out to the vendors. And all it is, it's just a simple, drawstring bag with Citrus County and Parks and Recreation. It's a kind of thing, when people use it and they carry it around, it kind of advertises the place. It's not extremely expensive. I mean, I dare say this is not what, $5-7 item at the most, at the very most. But it's something that she brought up, and she thinks it might be something worth looking into, as far as promotion goes.
And based in that color, it could work if you're riding a bicycle down the road.
I'd rather have something different. The green, I mean, it's just a little bit, it's gauche.
I like the color green.
That's over the top, though, sure.
Dan?
I just want to make a general announcement to everybody that is interested in regarding the high-speed internet. Levy County has now completed their section. CFEC is now up, running, and taking appointments for installation to your home. So if you're in Levy County and you are a CFEC member, please go to the website and go to My Fiber or My Central Florida Fiber and make your appointment for installation for high-speed internet. That's all.
It's Kind of interesting that Levy County has it before the majority of the center part of Rainbow Lakes.
Not saying a word.
Tin cans. All right, the next RLE Meet and Eat Dinner will be held right here in the RLE Community Center on Friday, June 27th from 6 to 9 p.m. This is a resident-only event with no charge. Proof of residency is required. Please contact the RLE District Office if you have any questions concerning proof of residency. Come on out and get to know your neighbors. Our next advisory board meeting will be held on Thursday, May 15th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. here in the Community Center. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We look forward to seeing you all next month. This meeting is adjourned.
Chair, FYI, just a note, the May 15th meeting, I will not be present. Thank you.
Off on vacation?
Yes, I'll be out of the country.
I'm not even going to ask where you're going.
No, you don't want to know.
This meeting's adjourned.
I have a 5-pound paper.
Cut it all and then we're just going to play.
Oh, you're closed. But you're working Sunday. Wait a minute. All you county employees get off tomorrow?
Nope.